Hey YouTube, I wanted to take you through some basic reloading with the Dillon 550B. So here it is. Uh, let's just go through the machine. You have four different dies. First die takes the primer out of the old case. Okay, deprimes it. It resizes the case, and it puts a new primer in it. The second stage or die essentially drops powder and bells the mouth of the case so it can accept the bullet. The third die seats the bullet. You put the bullet on, then it seats the bullet, okay, and it brings it to a defined overall length. And the fourth station takes that bell out, that flare, and crimps it back. And then you have a functioning bullet if you did it all right. So let's just go through this a little bit. I'm reloading 9mm. We're going to try to get about 3.8 grains of powder. We're going to use 124 grain full metal jackets right here. We're going to use mixed brass that's been tumbled, cleaned up in a case cleaner. Alright. First thing we need to do is load it up. So we'll go through this in a separate video, but we have primer pickup tubes here. In this case we're using small pistol primers. So it's the yellow tip. Okay, you pick them up, and we'll go through that in another video. It's too much to do all at once. On this end of the primer pickup tube you have this cotter pin. Okay, so what you essentially do is now place this. This is the primer feed tube. There's a blast cap here. Should be hand tight, okay? Not loose, hand tight. Not gorilla tight either. You have a primer warning system here, and I'll show you how that works basically. As you're feeding primers through, you'll see the follower, when it gets low enough, about 3, maybe 4 primers left, this will actually hit and set off an alarm to let you know you don't have any primers left. That's important because when you go to stage 2 you don't want a primerless cartridge because then it'll leak powder out. It makes a mess. So the way you do this is you put your primer pickup tube, pick up from the yellow end. Let's get this on camera, shall we? Sorry. You pick up from this yellow end, you invert it, and then your pin's down here. Okay. What you can do is take your follower, this plastic part, stick it in the end of the tube, okay? Just leave it there. The weight of it will work. And pull your pin, okay? Just pull it. Primers all go in. If this follower went all the way down, as you can see it here, you know you're good. Okay, you can remove that now. Remove your primer pickup tube. Close the arm on the warning device here. Outstanding camera work as usual, wouldn't you agree? Here's your warning device. Okay, close this arm. Yeah, and put your follower right in there. Okay, and eventually what will happen is as you use up primers, this will keep coming down, 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 down. Eventually the top of it will hit this warning device, and an audible alarm will go off so you know that you are out of primers. Okay, so here we are at station 1, right there. Let's do a zoom in. And this is basically where you feed in your cleaned cartridge that needs to be deprimed. So here it is. You can put it here. Okay, this wire guides it in, right? And it's sitting over this little cup-like thing that you can see me actuating it here, right? What that's going to do is when I pull the lever down, it's going to move the platform up into the case. I'll deprime it. Then when I push forward, I seat the primer. So let's zoom out and I'll show you what this looks like. And I'll do a separate video on how this is all set up. So here's my handle, case in position 1. I pull down the lever all the way, push it. I'm going to deprime it. Okay. and size it. Now I push it forward. That old primer comes out. Then I push it forward again, and I should have a primed case. And there you have it, one brand new primed case. And the old spent primer in the primer, spent primer cup. Okay, this is a bullet tray. Okay, so I have that freshly sized and primed case in position 1. I index this to position 2. Take another case, put it in position 1 so it can be sized and deprimed and primed. And here I'm going to drop powder, 3.8 grains of tight group, and I'm going to bell the mouth of that case. Okay. So we're depriming. That's what that little bit of resistance is, and sizing. Then we rotate. Okay, so here's our next case. Again, reload position 1 with a case that needs to be primed and deprimed and primed. Put a bullet on the top of that flared belled case mouth. We seat it. Seat this one. We put powder and flare or bell this one. And the first one, again, we size, we deprime, and we reprime. Okay? The handle needs to go all the way down, and then when you push it up, you're going to hit a springy part that needs to go all the way forward. That's how you seat your primer. Okay? Again, we just continue this. Okay? And eventually what's going to happen is we're going to get a nice shiny bullet right at this turn. Just do the same thing. In that last position, what we're doing is essentially crimping, removing the crimp so it feeds well. Okay? Now we advance, and there we are. Okay, so here's our case. All right? Let me reposition the camera and we'll look at this. Alright, so here's some things you need to look at your bullet. So here's your nice shiny brand new bullet that you just made. You're very happy about that. And by the way, while you're doing this, wear safety glasses. You must wear safety glasses. You only get one pair of eyes, folks. Okay. You want to know if this bullet's right. Okay. Big important thing to have is in fact a case gauge. So here's a bullet case gauge for 9mm. Okay, they're caliber specific. What this is going to do is check your overall length and your diameter to make sure it'll chamber okay. Don't be feeding bullets into the barrel of your gun and racking them, especially in the house. That's super dangerous. If you need to take the barrel out, I guess that's a little bit better. I don't recommend it. Okay, get a case gauge. You know, they're not expensive. This bullet will just fit right in there. That's how you know it's good. If you put it on a flat surface and it does this, it's too long, right? So this is made so to give you the maximum overall length, which I think is 1.16. And then as long as it's seated in there, you're fine. Okay, it's flush. So you take your finger, you can't feel a bump. It's flush, and it goes in and out nice and easy. That'll feed just beautifully. Okay, so just is basically simulating your barrel. Okay, comes out. The other thing you need is a pair of calipers. You must have calipers to reload. You also need a nice scale. If we zero this caliper right now, hopefully we can get this to show up, and I look at my overall length. There's my overall length, 1.14, which is what I want. I don't know if you can see that. You can take my word for it. I can't see it through the camera length. There it is, 1.140. That's my overall length that I like. Okay, if you look at the diameter of the case, we're looking at about 0.380 is what you want for 9mm. Okay, so I'll show you how to get all those in subsequent videos. But that's your basics of reloading. I hope it's helpful. You can save quite a bit of money. I did a video on how much you can save. I hope this is helpful. Now what we'll do in subsequent videos is go through this very meticulously about how we would go ahead and set up the tool head and all the dies to get all these measurements correct. Okay, thanks for watching. Take care.